Well, they are part of the greatest generation. The Department of Veterans Affairs estimates of the 16 million Americans who served in World War II, around 167,000 of them are still alive today.
This December marks the 81st anniversary of America's entry into World War II. An arsenal of democracy entered a war against Japan, Germany, and Italy that already spanned Europe and Asia.
50 million men registered for the draft. 10 million were drafted. Fox Carolina's Arthur Mondale introduces us to an upstate soldier and shares his story from the battlefield.
They're the GI generation, teens and young adults at a time when the nation was grappling with training and outfitting a stronger military force. I want you to meet Army Captain Joe Jones, a Clemson University grad who estimates losing 20% of his class to the war. Don't call him a hero. He says the heroes are the ones who never returned home.
In 1940, our Army numbered a little more than 250,000 men. 3 years later, in 1943, it numbered almost 7 million.
There's an old saying, before you judge a man, walk in his shoes.
You'd have to see it, believe it.
And Army Captain Joe Jones will provide the map for that.
Yeah.
March down here.
Yeah. We got down here, we started fighting.
He was finishing his degree at Clemson when he was told to report for active duty.
I was in the first group to go to OCS at Fort Benning, Georgia.
After just 4 months of training, he was commissioned a second lieutenant on his birthday in 1944.
And whatnot.
By ship, it took 12 days for the infantry officer in charge of a weapons platoon to reach the port of Le Havre, France.
Well, the port was all shot up because the Germans had destroyed all the lifts out thing. So they were using little boats, what they call ducks, to haul stuff from the ships to shore.
Captain Jones says his job was first to maneuver his troops to gain a tactical advantage in the Vosges mountain range of France.
Our division had broke through the German lines. So we came back off the mountain, they put me on a truck, and we moved up to catch up.
But the captain says the human cost of war, less than a week on foreign soil, was already visible.
And there was a truck full of German dead soldiers. They stuck them in this like cordwood. It passed. Then here comes another truck, American soldiers stacked in there like cordwood, dead. And now, of course, I was standing up in a truck looking over at that, and that's what I referred to when I saw all them people. Made you wonder what you were getting into.
And that's where we return to the map. The captain and his 36 men traveled from France into Germany, suppressing German forces.
They were retreating.
Enemy forces were also being suppressed by air.
Our airplanes came in, shredded them up, and there was dead horses, dead cows, artillery people, trucks, all splattered along the road.
Within 5 months, Captain Jones and his men navigated from France to Germany to Austria. 3/4 of the trek, all by foot.
We were walking.
All the while enduring the elements, spotty shelter, and enemy forces.
Sometimes the burgomaster, who was the mayor, would come out with a white flag and you give up. If you didn't give up, you'd shoot a mortar round, an artillery round, and then usually that would make him think he would give up.
Decades later, the captain calls himself a lucky one. And it's not only the risk that he shoulders, but one of the locations he stumbled on, Mauthausen, a concentration camp in Upper Austria.
Wir selbst Musterung halten und abstoßen, was sich als schlecht erwiesen hat. Und deshalb...
You can't believe it's possible that people would treat other people like that. You couldn't believe it treated like that. And this was just one of 15 or 20 across Germany, these concentration camps. This was a very minor camp. Auschwitz and some of those are much larger.
The captain calls the survival of his mind, body, and soul his greatest accomplishment.
Surviving and my men not getting killed.
As he aged, the captain became quite the military history expert.
The tactics they had and why you were in a certain area.
The now 99-year-old remains optimistic about he and his men's role, but he never wants the public to forget the 52 men in his class who didn't come home.
Well, I think y'all recognize those people who got killed. They're real heroes.
I asked Captain Joe Jones why he's so fascinated by military history and war. His reply, maybe if more people read about the true cost of conflict, we wouldn't have so many. Arthur Mondale, Fox Carolina News.